Las Vegas Raiders. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Jet sweep to start the drive. Across the 30 to the 31-yard line. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's second down. But defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
From the 31, Rodgers. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. That one a first down pickup of 8. The Raiders are 1-2 through the first 3 weeks of the season. They fell in the opener, got back on the beam with a win in week 2, but stumbled again last week to fall under 500.
And despite that stumble, I don't think anyone's too concerned because they've made mistakes that they believe are correctable. And this is a team still getting to know each other. I'm not that concerned, and neither are they.
And a pretty good burst there as he'll get this across midfield and down to the 46.
Give him a first down, 15 yards that time for the Raiders.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
On first down, they go with Jacobs again. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
This defense for the Dolphins, they were terrific last week in the victory over Kansas City.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball, or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright.
From the 40 now on second down. Rodgers looking left side, and it's complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 27-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. On play action, Rodgers. Got a man, and he hits him in stride.
Down inside the 10.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, 1st and goal.
It's a jet sweep. This is Renfro. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play that time, and it sets up 2nd and goal.
Let's just make this one succinct. Nice job there, all 11 guys on defense, diagnosing the jet sweep and putting it down.
2nd down and goal. Rodgers. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. That was the 8th play of the drive, so a somewhat fitting pickup of 8 yards. Driven it down the field nicely here on the opening drive, but now it's put up or shut up.
No doubt about it, because to make that type of a drive and ultimately kick a field goal would feel very disappointing. But I'm just wondering.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Devontae Adams. His 3rd touchdown now on the year.
And the Raiders are on the board first here this afternoon.
Extra point by Carson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25.
Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10
at their own 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Hit as he throws there, incomplete. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
First carry now for A.J. Dillon.
And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback on the expected passing situation.
Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. And going deep for Hill.
The ball popped in the air and intercepted.
Picked off by Trayvon Merrill. And the Raiders are going to take over here at their own 22-yard line. But that one was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an area. But that ball needed to be thrown with a lot more conviction. As a result, it's an easy interception.
Yeah, this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. They'll stay on the ground with Jacobs. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the 1st quarter.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now Rodgers on the bootleg. On the move to his left. He's got his man on the crossing route. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a 2nd and just a few inches left.
He's a rookie, and you don't want to get hung up on the word potential. But when you see him make catches like that, you keep thinking to yourself, he's good now. He's got a chance to be great with plenty of room.
And he'll get it out to midfield. They'll spot it right at midfield at the 50.
They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key 1st downs and big runs.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Running straight ahead is Jacobs. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory. 42 yards on the ground for him so far.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
Meanwhile, Rodgers' throw pulled in by Renfro. And they'll work this down inside the 30.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Rodgers rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to get the football here as he gets this up past the 20-yard line.
It's almost like you can see the look of frustration on his face. 4 interceptions last week. We talked about it all week. What did he do wrong? And another one here in the first half.
And you can understand the frustration. You actually feel his pain a little bit. But the worst thing he can do is what you're seeing right now, showing the other team that he's frustrated. All they're going to do is double their efforts to make him even more frustrated. He's got to gather himself, compose himself, and keep fighting.
Well, he talked a lot about erasing that loss last week, getting back in the win column. We'll see how he responds.
Off of play action, Tagovailoa. Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Kyle Fuller. So consecutive interceptions here early on in this one, and maybe setting the tone, Charles, for a game where the defense really takes center stage.
And don't you think that both offenses are really catching a bit from their coaching staff about avoiding these turnovers that we've seen?
And that's going to be caught for a Raider touchdown. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Raiders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of hammer, maybe breaking the ice a little bit, like, hey, didn't you practice in that color jersey all week, not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with it, but whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Following the incomplete pass, here they go again, 2nd and 10 from the 25. Looking to pass. Tua. Got a man complete to Cedric Wilson. And he's going to get a good gain of 9 here up to the 34.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route. And what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing. And they got it done.
3rd and 1, and Tua wants to throw it. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by J.M. Brown. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football. Now, I'm not sure that the wheels, Charles, are coming completely off, but they're shaking a little bit. That's 3 interceptions, and now interceptions here on back-to-back drives.
Now, think about what a Hall of Fame coach told me that he always told his teams, when a mistake happens, just move on to the next play. Let it go. Hard to do when you've thrown this many interceptions. That's exactly the attitude that has to be adopted.
They try and run on 1st down, but this one going to lose a couple yards as they get him behind the line.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there forcing a loss on that play.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. To throw, it's Rodgers. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And they're going to move it down inside the 25.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Jacobs going to try the middle. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
2 minutes to play, first half. It's 14-0.
Let's go. Let's make something happen. Come on.
From the 16, Rodgers. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to get the football back at their own 17. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost him.
And he stopped immediately there. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
To his throw here to be caught by Wilson. And way up past the 35 before he's taken down. Last play they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Play action, now it's Tua. He'll let this go for the end zone. And that is caught. Touchdown Miami. Tyreek Hill with career touchdown number 91. He joins a group that includes Tony Dorsett and Isaac Bruce, among others. And the Dolphins get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make our score 14-7. The kicking team out for Miami as they will send this one away. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. The offense for Las Vegas about set to begin the drive. And just inside of a minute left, Charles. They got a pretty long field ahead of them. I'm curious to see how they play this, but you would think definitely enough time to at least try to get 3 out of this.
Yeah, you want to move with a nice sense of pace. You want to up the tempo a little bit, but you have to do it with some poise as well. You don't want to go so fast that you hurry yourself into mistakes. There's enough time to put points on the board if they do it right.
And even though they have the lead, you know that they would love to extend this lead before heading to the locker room. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Rodgers. And he's got it. Got his man on the end route. Complete. The 30. 10. 5. And he will score. Touchdown, Las Vegas. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown of the game. His 3rd on the year. And the Raiders will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now 21-7. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it down by 2 scores. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
To throw again on second down. Tua. This one's complete to Jalen Waddle. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 24 seconds to go in this first half. Tua now on first down. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball. And what you have to do, maintain your poise.
The pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Now the offense will burn their third and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. That one complete to Hill. Oh, he's brought down. And remember here, no timeouts left. They got to get to the line quick. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Dolphins down on the scoreboard, but they'll have it first as we get going in this third quarter. And we will not have a run back here as the second half starts with a touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive.
This offense, Charles, had a strong first half throwing the football, at least in terms of yardage, but that hasn't translated so far on the scoreboard as they begin the third quarter here, trailing and looking for a little momentum.
Yeah, you're right about that because, let's face it, in the first half, most of their focus was in the passing game. And to their credit, resulted in a healthy amount of yardage. So I would think that at halftime, they're going to anticipate that defense loosening up a little bit to try and cover the passing lanes. They've got to get the running game going, and there should be some gaps to run through now.
On second down, Dillon. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down.
I'm okay with the call there. In fact, I actually like it. I know they're down a couple of scores, but the running game worked in that situation. I would continue to go in that direction.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. Wilson's got it on the crossing route. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first.
A couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
So here's a 1st and 10 now in Raider territory at the 35-yard line. Now Dillon on the inside give. Down to about the 32.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch of run plays.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They run once more with Dillon. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Dolphin first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying, we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Tua over the middle here to Wilson. And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver, that makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Trayvon Merritt. And the Raiders are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the 3rd quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this 3rd quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
They'll begin on the ground with Jacobs. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
And that's exactly what offenses try to avoid by using motion and throwing different formations up. They hate when he can draw a bead on the play, get a running start, and make a big play behind the line of scrimmage as he did just there.
On 2nd and 12, Rodgers. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. A gain of 8 there on the play. And it's 3rd and 4 now.
Caught that one from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the 2nd half.
It's caught here by Adams. And he is going to have the Raiders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Room here to run. A solid stiff arm. Oh, there he does it again. And they will finally catch him, but not before he gets it to the 11. And even 100 yards for him on the ground now, as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've run the ball 3 times with passing touchdowns, but guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
Once again, it's Jacobs. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes the defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
And he is in. Touchdown, Raiders. Josh Jacobs, his 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Raiders will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead down to 3 touchdowns at 21. Following the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Carlson. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive.
As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the second half.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Now Tua on the bootleg here. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
At this point in the game, in the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
On 2nd and 10.
Tua, open man is Waddle, complete.
And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his 3rd down play as we've played 3 quarters.
So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage.
From midfield, here's Tua. He is going to find Hill here. And he'll get this to the 30-yard line before crossing over out of bounds. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
This defense has certainly had an outstanding second half, haven't they? I know they just gave up the 1st down there, and for the offense, they're hoping that that's something that they can jumpstart with and maybe start to move the ball a little bit better. But it's been tough sledding for them here the entire second half.
And again, it's Tagovailoa. And he's going to go down here, a sack. They push him back to the 34. Max Crosby picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
You can almost see all the defenders rubbing their hands together with glee because we all know they relish the chance to bring down a quarterback of his caliber. Anyone who brings him down has plenty to talk about. Not just a sack, but a big win built off the efforts of this defense.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
4th down, 4th quarter, here's Tua.
And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Dolphins can't convert on 4th down. And the Raider D, they get the football back. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On the ground is Jacobs to start the drive.
And this defense able to plug him up there as he'll get a yard to the 35.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
Only gets 3 yards there on the heels of the 1-yard pickup. Sets up 3rd and 6.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The offense on 3rd down, a perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and 6. From the gun, it's Rodgers. And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. Give him 22 there on the 3rd down conversion. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory right at the 40. Counter play with Jacobs.
Down to about the 37.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's a handoff to Jacobs. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. So after 4 touchdowns in the game for this offense, this time they're forced into taking the 3.
But you didn't mention 4 touchdowns, right? So 4 out of 5, not too bad. I think that's a pretty good record for them.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Remember, they have won 3 straight, but getting to 4 straight does not appear to be in the cards as they are in a big 4th quarter hole. That's caught by his big tight end, Mike Gesicki. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns, and a late sack, just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
And now here is another interception. And the Raiders are going to take possession of the football. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. On the handoff, this is Jacobs. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Jerome Baker there on the tackle.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense. Linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
And they will take a knee here. Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. And they'll indeed take a knee. So this one a victory for the Las Vegas Raiders. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the 2nd half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the 2nd quarter. Do you think that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a 2nd half, the adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the 2nd half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Las Vegas, it'll be a 500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Denver Broncos. Meanwhile, for Miami, the defeat is their first of the year as they drop to 3-1. And they'll try to get back on track next week as they head to Dallas to take on the Cowboys.